Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paul Nurkala, or Boba Fett FPV, with the weekly um, live stream, FPV live stream. Super excited to be doing this interview today with Zachary Thayer and Jordan Tempkin, both of which are sponsored pilots by Team Big Whoop. Super excited to have them on. Unfortunately, they got a little bit confused in the time zone that they're going to be participating from, and have been out flying, doing what they do best. So we're waiting for them to show up. In the meantime, I'm trying to get my friend Nelson. I forgot your last name. He is from Miami. He's part of the Miami Drone Racers. His pilot name is Cruel. This is him. How's it going, my man?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm just finishing up an introduction here. Give me just 1 second to... I'm unfortunately not going to be able to show my video because it interferes with the camera being shown through OBS. So you'll have to look blankly at me not being here. So I apologize for that. Sorry, 1 second. Dang it. Okay, let's kick it back in. Anyway, so Nelson is from Miami, correct?
Yes, sir.
I can't remember your last name. Can you remind me?
Aquino, Aquino.
Aquino.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have you. And you just
Thanks, man.
you just got back from Dubai, where you were racing as part of the Miami FPV drone racers.
Gravity Goons.
Gravity
Yeah.
Goons.
Well, we're part of it. It's all the same. One big happy family.
Yeah. Tell me about Gravity Goons. I don't know enough about them.
No, we pretty much started in November, and it's a bunch of local guys, so it's not like well, it's kind of like Big Whoop thing, you know. They were just a bunch of friends started hanging out, and there's a huge community in Miami, and a lot of it is, I mean, there's like 100 and some odd pilots, but there's always a certain set of people that always go to all the events. Like, let's go to Orlando, let's go to CFL, let's go to all these different places.
Right.
And it was always the same group of guys. So we said, hey, why don't we just make like a racing team, or just team to make videos together or do whatever together. So that's it.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. No, that's fantastic. And so I remember, because we've done a little bit of chatting, because we're talking about working together a little bit on some planning, we'll say,
Yeah.
for multi-GP. And that was kind of my first introduction to you, apart from having maybe seen a couple YouTube videos here and there. And then I saw your guys' submission for the World Drone Prix. I don't know, what do you call that? Pre-qualifiers, like video qualification.
Yeah, it's a qualifying video.
Freaking awesome! I loved the way you did it, because it was a lot more focused on the team. It wasn't just one pilot kind of going at it. You were kind of like showing the process of going through the whole relay race, essentially, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we kind of just did what they said to do. Like, we saw other videos that were like somebody just flew around and landed and that was it, you know.
Right.
But we actually like followed what they asked for. So they said they wanted a pit stop, they wanted a pilot introduction.
Yeah.
They wanted the whole thing, so that's how it worked.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. And I probably watched. Oh, yeah, no problem.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I probably watched about 10 of those different videos, and I think out of all of them, yours is the one I remember the best, except for maybe like Conrad doing the light tracks run through at the meet and greet in California or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's so fantastic. So tell me about your time in Dubai. I don't know how long we've got until these guys show up, but like what was your favorite part? That's a big question, but I'm curious.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, not really. It's really easy to answer because it was meeting everyone, like meeting all the people and you know, hanging out with everyone, people that you know you see online and you look up to, and You see their videos. We had met the Big Whoop guys in the Florida Championships in MultiGP in December, so we already knew them. So we were already cool. But just meeting everyone I met, hanging out with Conrad, pretty much everyone. It was crazy, dude. It was really good. It was really good. We had a really good time. That was my favorite part of all. I mean, we didn't qualify, so
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get to race the main track. But I think even if we had qualified, the best thing would have been that we got to meet everyone. That was still the best.
Right. And so were you the pilot for your team then?
No, I wasn't
Okay.
actually.
What was your role?
I was the team manager
Okay.
for them. So a lot of us, our pilot had to bail the last second. Our pilot was Damon Kelly.
Okay.
And he had to bail the last second.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a call from Zachary. I'm gonna close this window, answer that one, and then add you to that one. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me, guys?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Okay. I'm gonna add Nelson back for a bit, and then we'll continue on.
All right.
Sorry about that. Let's see. And we are live now, just so you guys know.
All right. Sounds good. There you go, Pete.
Everybody can see you right now. We got 20 people in here right now, but I'm sure we'll increase that a little bit. Let's see. Nelson, I added you back. Nelson.
Yeah, apologies about the time switch up there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was worried that something like that would happen, but yeah, that's pretty funny. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Carried away flying, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's the right excuse to have, right? Like if you're gonna be out doing something, you might as well be out flying, right?
Yeah, we were having fun too.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm sorry that you can't, and I guess I should wait to explain it to Zach, but I'm sorry you guys can't see my face because it interferes with me being able to broadcast it through to YouTube. So,
Got it.
Oh well, but yeah, cool. And
Where to go on YouTube?
Say what?
If I were to go on YouTube,
Yeah, you could see it.
could I see your face?
There's like a 30-second delay. All right, I'm gonna keep going with Nelson here, and we'll finish this all up.
Cool, sounds good.
Okay, yeah. So Nelson, you were the team manager, and you were describing to me what the role of a team manager is for the World Drone Prix in Dubai.
Well, pretty much, yeah. You have to be the guy that's attending all the meetings and getting all the information, as scarce and convoluted as it was. And that was pretty much it. I mean, every team was different. I mean, there were teams that were laid back. There were guys that just had their certain role. That's all they focused on. There were guys that just, they all did everything. So in the end, we all did everything. I navigated. I helped my guy fit. I changed batteries. We all did everything.
Yeah.
At that point.
So do you think that role is more or less stressful than having to be the pilot? Because if you miss a meeting or misunderstand some information, you guys might not make it to something at all.
Well, right. I mean, but I think everyone that wanted to be there and wanted to compete, obviously they're gonna want to, be informed. So anybody would go up there and do it. It doesn't have to be a manager. It's just, hey, you want to find out what's going on? Go.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be a designated thing.
Right.
Definitely being the pilot was the most important role there.
That's awesome. And so you said that you didn't qualify. What happened?
Here, take the seat.
Well, in the beginning, the first day, we didn't have a hey, what's up, dude? The first day we didn't do well in the fast laps.
Okay.
We had video issues.
Okay.
And Big Wolf was awesome on the second day, and that's just a clear view. That's what I'm saying. The people are just the best part of the whole thing.
Right.
And on the second day, the lap counter. What happened with the lap counter was they had the transponders and stuff facing on the floor, and they had a second level on the track that went over it. So a lot of people were going over the transponder again.
Okay.
Meaning 2 laps counted on the same lap. So I'm looking at the guys that went before us, and we had a number 6 on there, and they had double laps counted, and they were like, "Oh, you're done." So we didn't have that happen to us, and I saw a number 5, and I saw that our lap times were consistent with being a real lap. And I said, okay, cool. I told my guy, you're done. And he went crazy and started going down the track, and he crashed. And the guy looks at us and says, like, oh, thank you very much. And we're like, what? You didn't finish? And he's like, no, that was your 4th lap. And we're like, the shit says number 5 right there.
Oh man.
But I guess it was not having presence of mind.
Got it.
So hopefully next time.
So it was kind of like almost a technical failure, almost an organizational issue, and then
our fault too. Like we should have just went till they told us to stop.
And how did you guys react to that? What was the plan after that? I mean,
disappointed. I mean, we just wanted to run the main track. Obviously, I think that would have been a reward in itself.
Right.
And that wasn't even flying. I was disappointed. But other than that, I mean, then we just decided, hey, we're here. Let's hang out. We hung out with everyone and met everyone up, and it was awesome. Either way, we got over it pretty quick.
Good. I mean, it's a blast though. Still, like you said, your favorite part was getting to meet all of the people. I've only gotten to go to one bigger event in my time as a pilot, and that was F3 Expo down in Atlanta. And that's where I met Jordan and Zach, and I mean all of the big names of pilots and stuff like that. And it was just fantastic. So I totally get what you're saying about that being your favorite part. It's just so good to get to meet all of those people.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely the best part about it.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for jumping on as an impromptu guest star of the FPV live stream. Really appreciate you doing so.
I love it. I'm not doing it again.
All right, sounds good. We'll have you as a real guest next time. All right, thank you so much.
Being a spectator.
Yeah.
I love you, Zach.
Love you. Love you, Nelson.
All right, see you later, Nelson. Thank you. All right, and we're back to Team Big Whoop. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm really glad that you guys are here, and super excited to talk to you about your experience in Dubai. So, for those of you that have been around my channel before, you kind of know that the channel is very focused on what does it really mean to be a pilot? For every 3-minute video that you get to see, there's 30 hours of work and effort and building and training and tuning and all that stuff that goes into it. And so I'm trying to tell that story. And so part of that is that there are big events around the world that awesome pilots get to go to that we sometimes don't have the chance to look at and understand and feel kind of what they're feeling. So the purpose of this is to kind of get together with 2 awesome pilots that are out there going to these big events and experience what they're experiencing. And so we're going to kind of talk to them. And this whole episode of the FPV live stream is around what was it like to be there? And that's kind of what we're going to go for. And we've talked about this a little bit already. And so I think the place to start is some introductions, just in case people don't know how awesome you guys are. Both their YouTube channels and actually Cruel's now are listed in the description, so you can go check out their channel. But so let's start with Jordan. Jordan, his pilot name is Swab. You are
slowly getting rid of that name.
You're gonna get rid of the name. What are you gonna switch to, or can you tell us yet?
I'm just going by my real name.
Just going by your real name, Jordan Tempkin. Yes. And so I know that you took home the trophy for 4-cell in the IDRA championship.
Yeah. Second in freestyle and first in 3S.
Okay.
I guess what other notable resume pieces?
Yeah, what are your other accolades?
Should have posted that one.
Yeah, we have a little resume on a Google Doc, but it's I took first in freestyle and second or something in the Road to Utah Cup.
Okay.
Which then E2 sticker.
Yeah, the 2 sticker. And then third in the GoPro race for the multi championships, as well as first in the team race, which was 2-person, 1 person on each stick with Jesse P, friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
Down in Florida. I've been to F3. I've been to Drone Nationals. Did the first Vegas Underground, the team race Acceleration, now Dubai. So I've been to most all the major races that have happened in the U.S. and
some outside. Yeah, that's awesome. What's next for you?
Next for us, well, so right now I'm on a team with my friend Jesse Perkins, Chris Fisher, Christian Avedon, Zach Thayer, and I. We are Team Big Whoop, bunch of 5 local Colorado pilots who we try and hit every single event and podium in all of them as much as we can.
Yeah.
But I forgot where I was going with this one.
You were ready to talk about TRL?
The next race, we are headed to. We're not supposed to tell people, I don't think.
Top secret race in
LA.
Top
secret race in LA.
We're flying bricks. I mean, we're flying amazing aircraft.
Yeah, that's our next race. We leave tomorrow at 3 a.m.
Dang.
So very shortly, actually.
That was a very quick turnaround from your trip back to Dubai. You've only been home for.
We're still waking up at like 6 a.m. on jet lag. So,
oh man.
Yeah, he's been waking up at 4. I get a little bit more sleep.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's the next one, and then after that, we're gonna try and hit up Kentucky with the Underground Derby.
There's a bit of a gap, so we gotta figure out how to
Yeah, there's a month there.
Yeah, get some practice in.
Well, we just moved into a new house. We don't have internet yet,
which
is why we're at this cafe. So we kind of need to make our house work also.
Yeah, that's important. And on the other hand, we've also got Zachary Thayer, who goes by A Noob. He is no longer a noob. He is the creator and entrepreneur behind the Shrike frame, which is always very popular amongst everyone. I can't go a day without hearing about it. And also has some impressive racing accolades in the last just like few months, right? You, prior to just a few months ago, you were kind of just doing your own thing, and now you're starting to hit up all these races, right?
No, I've actually been to every single race that everyone's been to, other than.
And I forgot XDC.
Yeah.
We did that.
I've been to every race. For a while, I was just sort of having pretty bad luck with video or equipment failure.
Yeah.
And recently, it's sort of been coming together.
Good.
I've been able to get a few wins. Most recent one would be the Phoenix Cup.
Mm-hmm.
That one was awesome. Lots of
awesome. Fun. Light rider video and all that stuff. Yeah,
definitely. That track was amazing. And we were fortunate enough, we actually got to go to the creator's house afterward, and we built our own light track on his property.
Oh, really?
A lot of fun, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Invited us over. Before that, I won the GoPro race at XDC2.
Right.
Took 3rd place and in the unlimited class and fastest lap, and then various other positions and IDRA events and whatnot.
Awesome.
And he was at Nationals also. That's where I originally met him.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think we've both been to as many as the major races that we can.
Back when you guys originally introduced the XBR 220 frame way back at Drone Nationals. That's crazy. That's what it feels like. It's been forever since then, but it's really only been not even a year.
Yeah, so that's Chris Fisher, our team member.
Yeah,
who designed that, and it's he actually just showed us a new prototype a couple of minutes ago. So
awesome.
That one.
Yeah. Cool. Was he flying it just now? Is that what were you out with?
No.
Him? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, got it. Sweet. Cool. Well, let's move on towards Dubai and your experiences out there. So I think, and we talked about it a little bit before, was that I think we should just kind of open up the floor and let you guys kind of go through the whole process, like
beginning
from way back to when you've started hearing about it, submitting your video, and all the way through. Just kind of tell the story, and I'll kind of make sidetracks as we go.
I think it was Sahand.
Yeah, we heard about it before it went public.
Sahand of IDRA.
Yeah, so Sahand puts on a lot of stuff, and he always asks us for his feedback.
Okay.
So he hinted he hinted about it maybe a month or so before it went public. But it was all up in the air.
That wasn't advantageous or anything.
No, there was no information. He was just telling us there's a big event.
Yeah.
Sneak peek.
Yeah, exactly.
When did we hear about video submissions? That was like about a week before Phoenix Cup or something like that?
Yeah, so about a month before the whole Dubai thing, I want to say, is when we found out, like, how they're picking people is you send in a video. They had a few qualifier events. Like, there was one down in LA. I know they did one in Germany.
Yeah.
And one somewhere
I went
else.
to the one in LA.
I skipped.
That was like the meet and greet thing?
Yeah,
exactly. It was goofy. I feel like they used it as an excuse to field more pilots because they were afraid they wouldn't get submissions.
Okay.
I actually didn't use any content from that. I went home and submitted my own video.
Yeah, that's.
I felt if you see 60 people with the same video, the chances are lower.
It's not going to stand out.
So I'm trying to think what time that was. That had to be right before the Phoenix Cup. And
okay.
Yeah, so that week at the Phoenix Cup was basically that weekend before is when we submitted our videos.
Yeah, I was in Japan at the time.
Yeah.
Submitted it on the very last day we were allowed to submit, which was the 15th.
And then they extended it 2 days.
And then they extended it after.
Yeah.
But either way, I pretty much just, if anyone has gone on my YouTube channel, it's YouTube/Jordan Tempkin.
Mm-hmm.
And my most latest video is of me flying with my friend Chris Fisher in a warehouse. And that's pretty much the video I submitted.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the one I submitted was how to practice and the Matty flip video mixed together.
Okay.
We can probably make these public now that the event's over.
Yeah,
that's true. And again, both of their channels are linked in the YouTube description. So if you want to go check out those videos, if you haven't already seen them,
we'll make our qualifier videos public after this. But
perfect.
So from there,
Well, around the same times when we decided to get a place together out here too.
yeah. So at the time, he was living at his parents' house. I just had my own apartment.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of said, hey, let's dedicate more time and more effort into trying to become, professional in the sense of dedication.
Yeah.
And become better pilots because we can spend all our time building, practicing, and just go and crush these events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
That's just starting.
Well, so on that same topic, and this is kind of more for my interest, is so when I go out and practice, like I do try to set up a course and fly it as fast as I can and keep track of lap times. Is there anything that you can do to kind of simulate the pressure of an event? So that's what I find kind of gets to me the most when I go to an actual race, is that as soon as the clock goes, it's just like, oh crap, I've got to actually
figuring that out. We've tried a few things. We've Chris has tried like tickling.
Actually,
Team Big Whoop is just sitting around tickling each other with goggles on.
Actually, I do actually have one. I did this with Bapu.
Okay.
Probably a month or two ago. We went to Bapu's house and he had a little track set up in his backyard.
Yeah.
And the best thing we did was single lap, first lap races. So from takeoff to last gate was your time.
Okay.
So you do one lap and you had to from takeoff through that last gate. And that really brought the pressure up because, you can't mess up on takeoff. And you have to hit it really fast your first lap and you can't stay.
We have to wake up at 3 a.m. and we're drinking coffee at 7. Oh, that was a bad choice. Sorry.
I'd say that was probably the best way to simulate some pressure.
I like that idea a lot.
That rhythm. So
yeah,
you got to be able to break that. And that actually is good practice. So we'll probably be doing that some more.
But
nice.
And then you can also like bet money,
Yeah.
with your friends.
Prop races.
That's incentive. You need to have something where you're like, shit, I don't want to lose.
Maybe start racing for pinks.
Yeah, we'll start racing for pinks.
Okay.
I don't know. There's not really any way of that nerve. He says he doesn't get it.
I get it. Yeah.
I know it's true. I've seen him bit. But
loser gets shot with like an airsoft gun or something. Like you gotta.
It's hard to
cool
to read. I'm not sure how.
Especially when it's on the world stage. Everyone's there. There's tons of camera people at that Dubai event.
30 camera guys running next to you.
It's definitely something none of us are experienced with, and that made it more pressure. Like smaller events, the weekend events, some of the IDRA events that weren't, the finals and stuff.
Right.
There's a lot less pressure. But when there's, a couple camera crews and they're not no-name camera crews, like there's Discovery Channel.
Yeah, we had Discovery following us
I
around.
think NBC had a crew out there.
Wow.
We had our own camera guy who's making a documentary right now following us.
Okay.
There's a whole Japanese TV camera crew. There was the local Luz. There's someone from London.
Yeah,
had a whole crew there. There's
a lot.
That's
and
insane.
that adds to the nerve. There's money on the line. You want to be able to beat the best pilots, because we watch each other's videos all day long, and then we finally met all together to race it out.
Right.
That nerve.
It was awesome to meet the overseas people, though. Like,
Yeah, like Bannister, we've been talking to him a lot on the internet, but we'd never met him in person because he lives all the way across the pond.
Yeah.
He's, just the same as chatting on Facebook. That he's a totally good
Yeah. Cool. So between the Phoenix Cup and your time to go to Dubai, you kind of put your heads down. You started working hard and really pushing.
Yeah, we didn't know we were going until.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So Phoenix Cup is over.
There's no information.
Yeah. So Phoenix Cup ends. Jordan gets back from Japan, and that week is the week I pack up and I head out to Colorado on Friday. And by then I think I heard on Wednesday.
We had heard we pre-qualified that week.
Okay.
So I heard on Wednesday, and I think you heard on Thursday
we didn't know
or Friday.
if they were paying.
So
we had no way of getting.
So they sent out
Okay.
pre-qualification letters to like 120 teams or something, and that's just saying, hey, you're allowed to come.
Okay.
And at that point, we started scrambling a little bit, not too much, because we weren't sure we could even afford that. So we started talking about maybe how we could fund it or get it funded.
Okay.
Or pay ourselves and just cross
win
our
it back.
fingers. Yeah, which would have sucked to lose because to get a whole team, we had two teams. I was a pilot, so we had 8 people. We had to get by.
That'd be
it's like $2,000 a plane ticket plus another 150.
It costs like 25 grand.
Yeah, so we were looking at like a car.
Jeez. A good car.
Yeah. So we obviously don't have that kind of money.
Right.
And then on Saturday, a week
Driving
before,
Wyoming.
he's driving through Wyoming, and we get an email saying, "Hey, WDP is going to sponsor your team." We both got
top
the email.
32. Yeah. We're like, woo!
Because that would have been enough to be like, "Hey, I got paid, but have fun staying."
Probably a minute or 2 minutes after that email, we got the whole team on the phone.
Yeah, we're
not even talking. We're just yelling.
But so yeah, we found out we were gonna get paid to go to Dubai, or they were gonna pay for our plane, our hotel, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 6 days before we were leaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still don't have plane tickets yet. All we have is an email saying, "Hey, we're gonna pay for you."
And it was a way sketchier email than the other emails because that email was just text.
Yeah.
And the previous emails came with like a PDF with a signature, formatted.
So you're like looking
stuff.
at this, you're looking at it like, so is this that prince from Nigeria that's like shipping?
Yeah. Yeah, someone sent me a message on Facebook saying, hey, verify who this email sent from because people are sending out fake emails.
Oh, wow.
Did someone tell you that?
Yeah, but I think that was just a rumor. I'm not really on board with that.
So, yeah, there was
So there's all sorts of shit going on. So we now know we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Before it was like, okay, we might not go because we don't have the money.
Right.
Now we know we're going. The next day he rolls into Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
We sit down. We pretty much just moved all his shit into the garage where it still is sitting.
Yeah.
We haven't been home yet.
Boxes, piles of quads.
Boxes of stuff. We set up a desk, designed a brand new quad because we knew that this was a 7-kilometer race.
Okay.
As in, one battery isn't going to cut it.
Yeah.
It needs to be efficient. So, and we both fly these tiny little strikes that are 185, fly 5-inch props. We have to carry a 200-gram HD camera.
Yeah.
That's
it needs
the
to be
size
efficient.
of
It weighs the same amount as our normal quad.
Yeah, it's two GoPros. A little bit more than 2 GoPros sitting on your
Yeah,
quad.
but the size-wise, it was probably 4 GoPros.
Yeah, it was really big. So we cranked down, designed a frame, ran up to our friend Chris's house who manufactures and designed the XBR, got him to cut out a frame for us, built it that night. So we went from an idea, we went from him moving in to Nadia to a working quad.
Like 8 hours.
Yeah, 8 or 10 hours.
That's insane.
We had it quad up and running. The next morning, we flew it, and it was fucking awesome. It's still like, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
We're really happy with it.
Yeah.
And so we cut 3 more, and for the rest of the week, we just built. We didn't have any parts, so all of us are like overnight ordering motors and ESCs, and I'm ripping apart old quads to scavenge shit from. And you know, a week isn't enough to order parts.
No.
Yeah,
They had to be identical quads, so we had to have 4 quads that are completely identical down to, you know, the T.
Yeah.
Which we pulled off. We didn't have motors.
Yeah, we had ordered motors probably
Before.
Friday. We ordered motors on Friday. Before we knew we were going, we ordered
For
some
a different
motors.
project. We were
We
like,
were ordering for other stuff, but they happened to fit the bill. And we find out on Thursday we start panicking because we don't have motors for these. We just put random motors on them.
And we had ordered them from Banggood.
Don't do that.
Obviously.
U.S. warehouse. Would be fine.
Obviously not a good choice. It was a U.S. warehouse. We were like, oh, they'll come in time.
Yeah. So he picks them up on Thursday, or we call
Jesse did.
Yeah,
that,
we call it USPS actually.
on hold
And
for
USPS,
like an hour.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we never received your package,
Oh no.
but the tracking number said it was shipped.
So well, let's go back a couple steps.
All right.
We found out we got our plane tickets to leave on Friday, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So like 2 days before we leave, we're like, oh, we finally actually have tickets. We're going.
Well, actually, let's rewind a little bit more. So after the frame, we're sitting around and going, okay, we're invited. We made this frame. We're trying to figure everything out. We get the whole team together. We delegate everyone tasks, things to order, stuff to do. And then we start talking a little bit, and we realize, like, hey, they don't have any of our information.
Yeah, they never asked what airport are you
So
leaving
we're like
from.
freaking out, like, how are we supposed to get there? And then I think the next day on Tuesday, we get an email that has like some form and some information, but it's still missing some critical information, like what airport do you want to leave out of, who are you going to fly, just basic questions.
Yeah.
And basically Tuesday night, we finally got the right email with the right information being asked for.
And because of the time zone change, we received their emails at like 4 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you couldn't like respond right away to kind of get clarification or anything.
Because it was more like say something, wait 12 hours, receive a response.
Yeah, so I'm like trying to bug Sahand and Katie and anyone I know that's semi-involved, and they have no idea what's going on either.
So luckily we got our tickets, we got quads, 4 fully built quads except for no motors. And then we kind of just caved and went and bought at retail price 20 Cobra 2208 motors.
Ouch.
Dropped like $500.
Oh my gosh.
So we're an independent team. We're not sponsored by any company or anything. So we pay for everything out of pocket, which is hard when you have to build 4 identical quads in less than a week.
Right.
So the quad questions, I think he gave us like 15% off.
It still was $500.
It still was like $500. We got the motors on Friday. We were leaving. Our plane was 11 p.m. on Friday.
Yeah, midnight basically.
So we got the motors, put them on the quads,
Went out and tested for like 10 seconds.
No tuning, no practice, just ready to go. Let's try it.
A couple times.
Needless to say, though, on Thursday we were testing 2 different motor setups. We had some 2306, 2300s from DYS.
Okay.
2206, 2100 Cobras. And we had been flying those, and we were having a hell of a time getting them tuned and stuff. They didn't have, so we're flying 6045s with an extra, 215 grams on top. And we had Chris cut us some steel blocks that the weight up, and we were trying to fly with them and get them tuned.
Dangerous.
And the motors
Don't
we
ever
had
do that.
don't do it.
Okay.
It's a weapon.
You're flying at
solid steel brick. Yeah,
Stupid
and
idea.
the motors just didn't have enough power, so we couldn't get it tuned right. And there were tons of issues. He broke his, then I broke mine. We almost gave up on that Thursday.
But it was a blessing in disguise because we went for these big 2208 motors.
Yeah.
More efficient, more torque. It just turned out to be perfect for what we needed them for.
Right.
So it was a good thing in the end, even though stress level was a little higher than it should have been.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah. Good.
So we left for Dubai on Emirates, which is by far the nicest airline ever.
Yeah, there's some passport drama.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had a guy, our friend Joel, who's a local video production company who wanted to do a documentary about quads.
Okay.
I was like, can I come with you guys to Dubai? And we were like, yeah, sure, whatever, you can follow us. Jesse almost didn't get to go to Dubai because the corner of his passport was just ever so slightly ripped. And they said that made it invalid.
Wow.
He sweet talked his way into getting through. And then once we landed in Dubai, after like 13-hour flights, we went to Boston for 3 hours, and then we had
a 6-hour layover.
Yeah, 6-hour layover
from like 3 in the morning to like 8 in the morning.
Yeah, something awful.
Whatever it was terrible.
Then we got on the plane to Dubai, 13 hours. We land going through customs. So the second we land in Dubai, the organization went from zero information to like, it was, we were treated like princes. There was a guy waiting at the gate with a sign that had like WDP, come talk to me.
Walked us through customs.
Us all the way through custom, opened up a customs line just for us.
Yeah, they didn't even check anything. They just stamped our passports and we went through.
Except for our cameraman.
Because he wasn't on the list.
No, it wasn't that. His kid had actually ripped out one of the stamp pages out of his passport.
Holy cow.
And so they were like, hey, this is fake because it's ripped.
Jeez.
So he got like in the clink for a couple hours until they took his passport away and let him out. So he was passportless in Dubai.
Oh my goodness. Did he make it home?
Yeah.
Good.
The embassy, get a temporary.
Well, he almost got screwed over because when he got his replacement, he didn't know, but he did it on Thursday. And in Dubai, they take Friday and Saturday off as their weekend.
Okay.
So he had luckily gone to the embassy on Thursday to get his
he was like, I'll just go Friday, but they're closed on the weekend.
He didn't know that.
Goodness.
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, so we land in Dubai. They walk us all through the airport. They have a shuttle that takes us to our hotel room.
And it was a brand new hotel. This hotel had only been open for 5 days.
It's like no one had ever.
Oh my gosh.
It's a brand new place. Dubai is a beautiful, beautiful city. Just the crazy buildings everywhere.
Yeah, you almost I don't even know how to explain it. I've been to New York and LA and Atlanta. It's not the same. The scale is insane. So if you take downtown Atlanta, those buildings, and multiply that by 10, there's that many buildings. And then there's 3 areas where there's buildings. There's Central Dubai, Marina, and then old downtown Dubai.
Okay.
So anyways, going back to the racing stuff that you guys are all doing.
I mean, this is part of the experience. I think we're all super excited to hear, kind of just what you're looking at and being excited about, and that's all great. That's all part of the FPV experience. So
yeah.
So first day is registrations and kind of meet and greet. All the pilots, all the teams.
We flew that day, right? We flew the practice track. That was all day one.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we register. They have plastic cards, and it's food trucks and food vouchers, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone's running around.
Yeah, we're hanging out with new friends and old friends.
Yeah.
That we only get to see once a month.
Right.
Because of they're quad friends from around the world. We get to meet people who we've been talking to for a very long time now, but because we live a world apart, we've never
Luke and UK guys. And I mean, had you heard of or met a lot of the far Asian
So there were
competitors.
In the hotel that first morning we met.
we met a Chinese team
EDF,
or eFly.
eFly.
They're a Chinese manufacturer, I guess, who makes quad stuff, and we'd never heard of them.
That's awesome.
Really, really nice people. There was a D1, which is another Chinese team.
Yeah.
There were 3 Korean teams, 3 Japanese teams. People who
Very
are,
international.
Yeah.
are on completely different internet, like social media stuff. So
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
seen their stuff.
That's crazy. That's super cool.
There's some the Korean teams were.
And it was funny.
They were all
One of the
really good.
Japanese teams showed up on day one, like dressed as freaking samurais and ninjas.
Yeah,
and stuff.
they had a whole costume.
I don't think I've seen a picture of that. I saw the
We had costumes too.
the freaking the whoever was responsible for like the main World Drone Prix media was really focused on like 2 Japanese women that were all dressed up and stuff like that, but I never saw any ninjas in there, so that's great.
So yeah, there's people from all around the world. People from Germany, people from the UK, at least a dozen U.S. teams.
Okay.
Right?
It was predominantly U.S.
Yeah,
teams,
there was a
but-
lot of U.S. Because
Well, actually, it was probably predominantly Tornado.
yeah, so there's this company called Tornado X Blades who sponsored 11 teams to go there,
Holy cow.
which included Luke Bannister,
Yep.
Metal Danny,
Yep.
And then no one else because they didn't qualify.
and then a bunch of other people that we didn't really know of.
Yeah.
Weren't really good enough. But they were, there was a presence because there's 43 people
wearing the same jersey.
wearing the same jersey that says Tornado X Blade.
Anywhere
Turns
you
out
look, yeah.
it's some energy drink company. No one's ever heard of. No one on the teams had ever drank it or heard of it either. They were just like, yeah, they paid for us to go.
All right.
They were wearing their clothes.
Can't
And then,
complain.
the Motor Ride crew, Chad Nowak,
Yeah.
Steele, Tommy, everybody was there.
Sharpoo had visa issues, it sounded like.
Of course, the Gravity Goons, Nelson and his team.
Yep.
And then, it was just a lot of people there.
Good.
A lot of people.
Cool.
And what was it, qualifying?
Yeah, let's just go to. So you had day 1. You didn't really get to tune much still.
Yeah, we didn't have a tune.
Yeah, we hadn't flown. And it turns out they were like, hey, qualifying course is indoors.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
And we built
indoor
these
track.
massive for us. They're 265.
Yeah.
They
To fit
fit
up the
7-inch. They're really big because we're used to flying these tiny little 5-inch quads.
Right.
And they were like, hey, you have to qualify for this race on this indoor track that's kind of like an XDC course.
Mm-hmm.
It's tiny.
Yeah, it was
It's tiny.
ridiculously small.
And so we
Yeah.
built massive long range quads that are built to do 7 kilometers. And they
And they're
want us,
fast.
and they're really freaking fast because they're supposed to do 7 kilometers.
Right.
And so we like tilt our camera down to like 10 degrees
Yeah.
and kind of just like go around this course. First day was good.
So,
You got
yeah.
like second or third fastest time.
Yeah, so day 1 we got.
I got like the
you
fourth
got
fastest
2
time
laps.
of 22
Yeah, so-
seconds.
Yeah, day 1 was all about single fastest lap.
Okay.
In my opinion, they weighted the qualifications wrong. But yeah, so day 1 was 2 laps warm up, and then you get like 5 minutes if you need to change anything. This is all individual, so there's no one else on the track for your time. And then you get 5 minutes of uninterrupted flight. If you go down, you can have your team run out there, change props and all that good
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, so was 5 minutes, and I did pretty good. I flew for about 2.5 minutes, and then I started pushing it and crashed in a lap. Ended up getting 19 seconds or something, second fastest lap.
Yeah, Luke.
Other than
Luke
Luke.
Bannister got the
Behind
fastest, of course, because he's a little monster. And he was flying. We didn't realize, really, you didn't have to use your
Yeah.
quad you were supposed to use for the big race
Okay.
in the qualifying.
Okay.
So he was flying a little.
So he was flying a
smaller,
little 5-inch, which
Yeah.
we could have flown, I guess, but
live and learn.
well, yeah.
We'll figure it out in the future. But yeah, so we do that. We were feeling really good at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was great because we were both, top 5.
Yeah.
Day 1's over. We go back to our nice hotel.
Yeah, and the way we understood it, so day 2 was also a second day of qualifying.
Okay.
And the way it was explained is day 1 and day 2 are weighted the same.
Okay.
Which they
Yeah, so the rules for day 2 is you get 1 warm-up lap, and then you get 5 consecutive laps. No time,
and that's it.
and that's it. If you mess up, you're done. And then what they decided to do is any laps you crashed out or didn't complete, they would default to 50-second lap times.
Whoa.
So pretty much what they were telling us was like, hey, hover the course as long as you get 5 laps in a row and you don't crash, you're good.
Okay.
That's
So we
they
were
literally said that.
We were group
Okay.
3 out of 5
Maybe not
groups, right? We were group 3 out of 5 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were midfield. By the time it was our turn on day 2,
Yeah, we were.
most people in the groups before us had crashed out. There was only 1 or 2 guys who finished 5 laps.
Yeah, so we were like, oh, we're good.
Yeah,
We're
so
just
we were
gonna
like,
finish.
all right, so let's just
So
cruise this.
That
Yeah.
it got
I didn't crush it. I got
you
like
got 5
30, I got
36-second
mid-30s
laps.
and- yeah.
So
I was
my
like
team.
I was like 15 seconds slower than my fastest, which is
Yeah.
pretty bad if you
Yeah.
actually think almost half the speed.
And
But
then my team, we made a strategic fuck up. I went too slow because we were like, hey, as long as you get the 5 laps and you don't crash, you're good.
Yeah.
So I went too slow and ended up not qualifying because my times weren't fast enough.
yeah, so the way they ended up
Jeez.
doing qualifying was they took your fastest lap from day 1 and then your fastest 5 consecutive laps from day 2,
Well, the only 5.
or your
Okay.
only 5, or the ones you didn't
And then just
complete
added
with
them
50
together.
seconds, and they just added it together for total time.
So that's why they weren't weighted the
yeah,
same
so
whatsoever.
day 2 was 5 times more important.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we were unaware of this, which sort of really sucks because Jordan got bumped out by people who crashed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
let-
so there were teams who did 3 26-second laps and then crashed and just defaulted 50 seconds on the last 2 laps, and they qualified.
Yeah, so their penalty wasn't enough for crashing, in my opinion.
So I
Okay.
it was a strategic.
I mean,
I
even
take
if-
responsibility
Yeah.
as a team because we should have been watching everybody,
True.
Right.
but it was an indoor
But it was
track. No one's
also-
allowed to go in there.
Yeah.
It was
Except
also
for the
hard to
people
watch
racing.
everyone.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
were 8-hour days.
Yeah, so we were there. Yeah, they were
And it
8-hour
takes
days.
at least
It was
45
more
minutes
than
per
that.
team.
They were 12-hour
Holy
days.
cow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a half hour to 45 minutes per team. So you do that, and we had probably almost 70 teams total. So, that's...
Yeah.
It was a strategic fuck up on our sense because we should have been watching the playing field going,
Mhm.
hey, we're actually going a little faster than we thought.
Well, even that, we already talked about this in the future. You have to
I'm just
be
gonna go
comfortable
fast.
enough to not maybe fly fast, but to fly at a pace that's not below your skill level, because we did that at XDC as well.
Yeah.
We actually knew the whole field crashed out because we were like the last few heats. So we're like, as long as we complete laps, we're going to qualify it, in the top few slots.
Mhm.
So in our given time, it's just your fastest 3 laps, and you had like 5 minutes to fly.
Mhm.
We only completed 4 laps.
So I got bumped out. I did
Yeah.
not make the cut of top 32 to be able to go to the big course.
Right.
Sucked. I was pretty devastated
Yeah.
for a day.
Well, we didn't.
Mostly, I was just pissed off at ourselves because
Really?
it wasn't like I had gone fast and crashed out. It was like,
You held
I just-
back.
yeah, I held back too
Yeah.
much.
The other thing that sucked though is we didn't ever get information from them until almost 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.
Yeah, so we found out at 4. I woke up, checked my phone, and I had an email saying, "Sorry, you did not
Yeah.
qualify." At like 4 a.m.
Mm.
Yeah, so
that
we're
night.
exactly. We had that night we all went out to a bar because we're like,
Yeah, we were all
we're like, out of
hammered.
all the nights, this is the only
I was
night we could.
hungover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
all the nights, it was the only night we could go out because, qualifying's done. So whatever happens.
And the next day is supposed to be
And we were
practice.
told we didn't start till 3 or 4 the next day, so we had time.
Okay.
So a lot of people decided to stay up until they got the email, and we ended up going home. But
Yeah.
And that sucked. I remember when I got the email, I looked at it and I was looking for Jordan's name like over and over.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to his room and punch him. I was like, dude, you're not slow. There's no way.
Yeah.
We just got fucked. You know. Oh well. Whatever. We goofed, and it's next time I'm never going slow again.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I would say, is if you have some kind of speed you normally fly at, make sure you're flying at that speed.
Yeah.
Be
yourself.
You don't have to always push it, but I would say pushing it and going slow are almost the same risk. Because if you're not comfortable, you're not flying as best as you can.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
So then,
do we have any questions before we keep rambling on you?
No.
Yeah.
So at the end of day 2, Jordan's out, unfortunately. Zach's still in. Zach, how are you feeling at that point about the?
I was pissed.
Yeah, he got 17th.
I wasn't pissed because of 17. Well, I was a little bit.
Me.
I was pissed
at him. So he's putting all the pressure on you.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not pissed at that. Pissed is the wrong word.
I was pissed.
I'm upset.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I was very, very surprised when Jordan didn't qualify because I was very closely following everything as it happened from here. I mean, and everything's delayed and weird.
I don't know. I was just sort of sad that my buddy wasn't there. No, he was faster than a lot of people that made it in.
Yeah.
And we had quad. We had
everything in
the
place.
fastest squads there.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
There were dudes that were full throttling around the turns, and you'd see Zach come up and just go, boop, just like that, no problem.
But
so Jordan,
I was happy that I made it. I was actually pissed at myself because I was really slow.
Yeah.
I didn't mess. I made it in, but I was flying slow for qualifying.
Yeah.
And Luke didn't help. He was teasing me that I made 17. You're so slow.
Because Luke got first.
Yeah.
He's just a crazy kid who.
Well, you gotta put it this way. He's 15.
Yeah.
He's not buying most of his stuff.
He just goes.
Yeah, exactly. So he has very little to worry about. He doesn't understand how much money or any of it.
Yeah.
15.
But he's just an amazing
Yeah,
pilot.
he's a very
totally deserved that win.
Yeah.
Out of anyone,
Mind-blowing.
crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me too. I'm sad Jordan's not there, but I have to focus.
Yeah.
We scrambled to get Jordan onto my team because we only.
No, there was
day 3.
It rained.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about the rain. We saw some pictures of streets flooding and craziness.
We were supposed to have 2 days of practice. The first day of practice, it starts just rain, tropical storm kind of shit.
Typhoon.
Yeah, and then all the windows in our brand new hotel are leaking through.
Oh my gosh.
The management's just sorry, the hotel wasn't built for rain. Whatever the hell that means. So,
Apparently,
I mean, you are in the middle of a desert in their defense.
Apparently, it's the biggest 10 years.
Oh my gosh, 10 years.
So,
record downfall at an outdoor event for 10 years. Oh my gosh.
It was just terrible timing.
So we lose a whole day of practice to that.
So you guys are frustrated, you're sad, it's dumping rain on you. Man,
He's around Dubai trying to get arrested by yelling "fuck" as loud as he can.
Yeah, you're not allowed to swear.
Okay.
Because it's a Muslim culture. I don't
Yeah.
know. So I'm not. So I'm screaming the F-bomb everywhere.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
But and then so
we ended up going to the malls.
Yeah, we just we kind of did the tourist thing. We checked out the indoor ski place, which was the Bunny Slope. We went to the Burj.
Jordan is a very, 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 very good skier. For those that don't know. And Zach, do you snowboard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we didn't, and then we checked out this in the mall aquarium, which was cool. We did the tourist thing for that day because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
We did we all have little Industrious micros.
Okay.
With Spectrum cameras on them, and we did a micro racing around the hotel and shit. We're just goofing off. And I think Jesse's actually working on that video right now.
That'll be great.
I loved the drone house.
Starring in it.
But anyways,
Nice.
so the next day happens. This is the first day of practice.
Second day of practice, but the first day which you got to practice.
Yeah, so that morning, so you're not allowed to fly quads in Dubai.
Okay.
It's illegal to fly any quad in Dubai
Okay.
because some asshole bombed the
Dude!
Burj Dubai. You're in America now. They can't arrest you.
What if I go back next year?
So if anyone's watched the TBS Vendetta video, where it's going down the Burj, that was somebody.
Somebody, I don't
And
know.
so, but I don't really think that's the reason why it's.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
It was before that,
Yeah, prior to that, there was.
but people like to say that's.
There's actually people
Sure.
flying Phantoms in front of the runway at DBX Airport
Oh my gosh.
multiple times in a row.
So, anyways, you can't fly.
Yeah.
And they
Long story short, it's
WDP
dangerous.
specifically said if you get caught flying in the city, you get disqualified automatically
And probably go to jail.
and probably get arrested.
Oh my gosh.
So the only place we're allowed to fly is in the middle of fucking nowhere desert, because once you leave the city, it's just sand. So we rent a car for like 40. It was like a big old Ford Explorer for like $40 or something for the whole day. We go all the way out to this place called Area 51.
Okay.
Which was, that's just what the pilots were calling it.
Okay.
It was it's just like
It's
they
just
were going to
roads,
build a
yeah.
city there,
Okay.
and then they decided not to, so it's just a bunch of roads
Huh.
that go into the desert,
Fun.
which is really cool, like as a spot to go. So we go there in the morning, we try and PID tune our quads.
It's like 70-mile-an-hour wind.
It's so windy we can't even fly.
Oh my gosh.
So we try and head home. The streets in Dubai are just shit.
Okay.
It's just overpass over, and you have to like take it overpass to the left to do a loop to go.
Not
to the
even
right.
that. Like, if you want to turn right, you have to take the overpass that's on the left side.
It's just
Like, it just none of it makes
It's
sense.
a
Up and
total-
over to the right. Oh my gosh.
45 minutes. Just like we're passing our hotel, and we're like, oh, it's right
Yeah,
there.
we can see the hotel and we can't
But
get to
We
it.
can't get to it. Finally, we take this exit that goes to the basement level of a
We
parking
drive
garage.
to like short.
Like the only exit in the whole city goes to the basement level parking garage. We like go up 3 levels,
Okay.
end up on a frontage road, finally get home, go to the practice, and they only got one practice.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
How many
So then
how
you
many
get-
teams are allowed to fly at this point in the in the practice session?
32 teams.
32
32
teams.
32 teams. You got 2 laps to feel out the course, and then you land.
One
and then,
lap is one.
Oh, okay. So you get 1 lap to figure out the course.
And then you
Okay.
can change things.
and then you land, and then you wait for the 3 other people in your group to do that 1 lap also, and then 4 people go up at once for 5 minutes
Okay.
to practice.
Okay.
So who was in my group? It was me.
You need
No,
to
we
able to
gotta be
sleep,
up
though.
at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyways, so
Yeah, who was in our group? We had
it was-
Rack.
it was Zumos, it
Ross
was
Kirker.
Ross Kirker, and
Was it the Dutch guys?
no, I don't think so.
Zumas
one
and
of-
Ross are part of the DRL.
Yeah, they're both amazing
Oh,
pilots. Both
it was,
DRL
Vince
pilots.
Speed.
Oh, and Vince B, which is
Okay.
a
French team. I
French
think.
team. Yeah.
Okay. We
So it was great. He had a great
Yeah. Me and Zumas
back
were
and forth with
battling
Zumas.
every corner for maybe 3 laps.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It's what me and Steve say was the best race of WDP.
okay.
You know,
Yeah.
that's arguable.
So that's all the practice they got, which was 1 lap and then 5 minutes, which he crashed out after 3 minutes.
Well, Steve hit me from
Yeah,
above.
Steve-
So
Oh.
Steve got technically disqualified.
And, well,
Yeah,
so if you
But it was
don't make a
practice.
clean pass at the World Drone Prix, you get disqualified.
if you're at fault for
Yeah, if
the
you're at
cause
fault.
of a crash.
Okay.
But this was during practice, so it didn't matter. Practice went until 2 in the morning.
Okay.
First-
Wow.
Oh no, they practice at 7:30 that night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so it was like 7:30, and only like half the teams got to even fly it at night, which sort of sucks because the main event is supposed to be at night.
Right.
And it's up. And we were promised 2 rounds of practice, but we started maybe 6 hours late that day.
Okay.
So we got 1 round of practice, and we were sort of upset because it's like, hey, it's 7:30. Why don't we keep flying all night? But the people wanted, the organizers, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
They had to repair the course from the range, so there's a bunch of damage. So yeah, we only got 1 round that night,
Man.
and then
And that's heading into the
But
first day of qualifying, right?
they did a great job on the. All 32 teams got their own little cubicle indoors.
yeah, that was really cool.
So we have a little couch and a table to work on our shit and
Your
like
kitting
chairs,
station.
lock the door. So we actually like had a space to do our stuff, keep our gear. We put flags and banners and stickers everywhere.
Nice.
That
That's
was
awesome.
really cool that they did that. We also all got suits.
Yeah,
these
flight
F1
suits.
The flight
suits.
suits.
Saw the pictures of.
Dude, those are so cool. I mean, it's a silly thing, but I thought it was a really nice touch. Like, this look.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool.
Well,
I mean,
I
it's a
wanna
good
put it this
thing
way,
to put on my wall as
As
memorabilia.
far as event organization goes, everything was done properly. Everything was done amazingly. As far as
they had food for us,
yeah,
which is pretty rare at
awesome.
events.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
great food trucks. It was, as far as event organization go, it was amazing. It was,
But they didn't know how quads work.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So as far as we're all aware with being in this community, there's a lot of technical issues because we're using very immature technologies and various other things. So, as far as race and technical side goes, there's some faults and whatnot, but it was an amazing event.
Yeah.
When they said something would happen, it would happen.
Yeah,
I had a couple questions come through. The first was, would you do it again next year?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Cool.
Without a-
Did you
If
get?
I have to pay, I'll find a way for someone
Yeah.
else to pay. I'll find a sponsor. I'm fucking going.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you get to keep your race suits, your flight
Yeah.
suits?
Yes, we did.
Did you all
I-
get them like signed or anything by other people?
I
yeah,
started
some people
to,
did.
but I only got one signature.
He's got Tommy and Luke.
And Luke
D
signed my
on the
crotch, which is weird because someone asked if I was wearing it when he signed it. That would have been pedophilia.
I was gonna say, I kind of hope not.
I wasn't wearing it.
Good. So you heard it here first.
I think got everyone to
noobs.
sign
Yeah,
it.
Jesse got like all the teams.
Yeah.
Oh my
members.
gosh. I want to see a picture of
I
that
was trying
flight
to
suit.
sign trying to race and stuff, which I wish I could have got everyone to sign it. So next year, that's definitely a top priority.
Yeah, good, awesome. I hope I can get to go next year. We'll see. Got to practice more. Cool. Okay, so you are done with day 2 or the first
Day 3.
practice day. It's
Yeah.
Day
You're
3.
So we'll
tired.
day 4.
It's 2 in the morning.
Right. Yeah, so day 5
The
is
first of
first round
30
of eliminations.
Yeah, it's cutting 32 down to 16.
Okay, so 16 teams are not going to make it to the next day starting
Yeah.
that morning.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, that day was actually a little annoying because we didn't know when we were going to start. They didn't. We were told like 3 o'clock, and then
We get
some messages from Sahan.
Yeah, so we
saying,
all had
"Hey,
a
be there at
Facebook
11."
group that was
Okay.
like
And we got
60-something people. It was all the pilots and team members, which was really helpful because then Sahan was in it, who was helping organize, and he'd be like, "Hey guys, you guys got to be here."
yeah,
11.
but it was sort of
Yeah.
annoying. Told in the official email the night before to be there around like 3 or 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And then like at 10:30, we were told we need to be there at 11:30.
Okay.
So we're like, everyone scrambles to get there.
But it turned out it was just freestyle started at 11.
Yeah.
So as racers, we didn't have to be there till 3.
So there's a little bit of fumble, I'd say, communication-wise. Getting emails out to us very late. that made it very difficult to know what we were supposed to do.
And we don't have internet.
Yeah, we only have Wi-Fi at the hotels. A couple people had international plans, but you don't always know where those people are.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys ever go to a race in Dubai,
Get a
pay
data plan.
the $20 to get a data plan.
Yeah, exactly.
We should have done that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we end up getting there at 11:30 or noon. Can't remember.
Okay.
And there's like some debriefing, and then we basically sit around all day until like 5 o'clock.
Sheesh.
That for 6 hours.
Yeah, and then they finally started the racing.
Mhm.
And I think I was group 3A. So they were doing groups like group 1A, group 1B, and they'd fly it like that. So I was
Okay.
group 3A. So it was like the 5th race.
Okay.
You did great, right? How'd you do? I can't remember.
Oh no, that was the night all the crap went down.
Oh crap.
The 8 laps and all that.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So I was.
Alright.
So the first groups were flying while daylight's up,
Okay.
and the way the track was set up, that big over with like where you go up and drop down like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
The sun was right in that, so it was pretty bad for the first few groups.
Oh man.
Staring at the sun, and then by the time ours went, it was sort of dusk. So we had, in my opinion, the best lighting because there was enough light where I could see the ribbing,
Yeah.
and then turn the lights on. So I got like sort of the most contrast.
Okay. Yeah, I think Seagon Drones posted their GoPro video from like that twilight time.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous to look at.
He flew that time for practice, and I think that's what that.
Yeah. I think so too.
I don't know
Looks
why
fantastic.
we didn't also do that,
I don't know.
but
But-
In the moment, you're focused. You gotta perform. So don't think about that.
Yeah, so our race was crazy interesting. I can't remember exactly who was in it, but it was me, Vince B.
Okay.
And I don't know, but me and Vince B ended up going.
Oh,
forward.
it was Chad and
Oh no, it was Steele.
Steele.
It was Steele, Vince B, and a Dutch team or some other team,
Oh, it was a
some
good
European team.
Yeah.
Droneski? No, Droneski went no further.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Anyway, it was like Steele. Yeah, so we take off. Oh man, so that was that race sort of pissed me off a little bit.
Okay.
So we have a team.
And this is your first qualifier. So you have done your you have done your practice round, and this is the first time that you're flying the big course for a competition against Mr. Steele and against. Wait, what?
I'm just looking at what
Yeah, no.
what Nelson said.
Yeah,
okay.
so this is the first qualifying. So this is you have to perform today. Other than qualification, you have to perform today.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're done. So, and then also this is the first time teamwork comes into play. So it's supposed to be 7
you have
kilometers.
to pit stop at least once.
Yeah, so it's 7 kilometers, which turns into 12 laps on the track.
Okay.
Which is also, in my opinion, amazing because I hate these races that are 3 laps.
Yeah.
And they're
The
over in
5-lap
30
races are a little
seconds.
better, but it's still not enough, in my opinion, to really get a race going. Because, you need enough time where people can catch up, drop out, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And pit stops are awesome because there's a whole team involvement. There's strategy. They have this thing that we had to do called hot swapping. So
Okay.
you're not allowed to power down your quad when you're changing batteries because, as we all know, when you first plug in your quad, it blips everybody.
Yeah, right.
And be having that during a race.
Right.
So what you do is you have to have 2 power plugs on your quad. You plug in your power, which was I just had a 4-cell in my pocket.
Okay.
Plug that into the parallel connector, unplug one battery, plug in the new battery, strap it on, and then unplug. So your quad never turns off.
Okay.
So that brought a whole new level to this whole
pit team.
pit team.
Yeah.
So because your team actually has to do a good job pitting, and I was getting it. We practiced.
Yeah.
So actually, at that time, I had switched to his team
Okay.
to be a pit crew.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
We only had 4 people on our team. You're allowed to have 5. I was like, all right, well, I'm joining Zach's team now.
Yeah, that was a great help. So yeah, this day was the first day I had to perform and the team had to perform.
Right.
And unfortunately, we never talked about it. We just sort of decided we were just going to do it.
Mhm.
We had roles for each other, but we never discussed how we wanted to behave or how we wanted to act or how we wanted to be done. And it actually almost turned out to be completely disastrous.
Okay. How come?
So our strategy on takeoff was to hit the Joker lap right away, because you can't do it last lap and you have to do it once. And right after takeoff was that big wall you have to go up and over.
Yep.
And the Joker lane was just a slalom, which is I can do way faster than I can go up and over, because you just punch full throttle left, right, left, right, left, right.
Yeah.
So the goal was just to get away from traffic to avoid any collisions and all that.
Yeah.
So I do that and I go past all of it, and then right at the exit of the Joker lane, there's sort of a gate. There's one of the gates on the track. And the Joker lane actually exits behind the gate, so you don't have to hit the gate.
Okay.
But the last turn sort of throws you towards it, and I go, "Hey, navigator, do I need to hit this gate?" And I didn't get an answer, so I flew over it because that's sort of what I had memorized.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, Harrison, who's our team manager, yells, "Yeah, you have to hit the gate." So it wasn't his job. He got excited and he jumped in and yelled. So I circle back around. I almost hit someone, and then I get into the gate. Now I'm in last place instead of first place.
Right.
Was wrong. You did not have to hit that gate.
Yeah, I did not have to hit the gate.
Jeez.
So it was very unfortunate that we didn't have a discussion of how we wanted to behave while the race was going.
Yeah.
And it almost costed us everything right off the bat.
Yeah.
Just because tensions are high for everyone. It's very exciting.
Emotions get involved.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then after that, the next few laps, I worked my way up. And I think in a lap and a half, I passed everyone again.
Good.
Because he's a good pilot and our fast as hell.
Yeah. And so I'm in front. I do another few laps.
Mm-hmm.
And then I end up clipping the gate at the top of the dive. And that's just because if you flew this track, there's a gate below and then a gate on top. And there's a gate down low and then the gate up top. So you'd have to pull up immediately. Like it was, the gate down low was super close to
that
the
was
wall.
very, very close.
Yeah, and we didn't get really enough practice to figure it out. And as we've been saying, our quad is ridiculously fast. Yeah. So when I would pull up and punch it, I would actually get too much speed. And this race was at night, and I hadn't really flown at night before because our practice was during the day.
Yeah.
So during the day, I had it really easy because I could see each of the ribs, which gave me a very good judge of vertical speed.
Okay.
So I was able to stop and dive through it without any issues.
Yeah.
And then at night, I couldn't see those ribbings, and I didn't really see the red lights on the sides.
Okay.
Tips of the ribs. So I would hold the throttle a little too long, and I'd go up over the gate almost every time, and I had to fly backwards and then dive through it. So I was having a lot of struggle there.
Yeah.
So I end up clipping it one of the laps, and I start just spinning out of control. And the first thing that goes through my mind is, dang it, I lose. On a world stage, I lose because I screwed up.
Yeah.
And luckily, Dal, or Surveil Zone, has sent us like $1,000 order of props for free. Thank you, Surveil Zone, for doing that. It showed up in Dubai. You know, we were like, hey, you don't have time to ship it to Colorado. Can you just ship it to the hotel?
Yeah, so that completely saved us because
we were
going to run HQ.
Yeah, we were using HQs, and if you look at those raw today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Cal Surveil Zone saved us. Thank you again.
Yeah, so I flipped that gate, and I'm spinning out completely. And in my head, I was like, I lose on a world stage. I lose because of my own stupidity. I lose because we didn't get to test the quad. I lose because they gave us no time to prepare. I lose because we lost the day. All these things go through my head in that instant.
Yeah.
And then jokingly, when in doubt, throttle out popped into my head, which is, I don't think it's a quad thing. It's a motocross thing.
Yeah,
so it's usually fishtailing out. I guess it works for cars if you're drifting on ice or rally, any of that. So I just punched the throttle and my quad straightened out. It flew like crap. I was over the pilots. I was over the whole pits and everyone, and people were starting to yell. Yeah. And I saved it.
Oh, man.
And then I was able to bring it back into the pits. We threw in a new prop and a new battery.
Yeah, swap props and a battery in 20 seconds.
That's awesome.
And by the time we get back on the track, we're back either a lap and a half or 2 laps. I can't remember.
Yeah, but by that time, two other teams had already crashed out.
Right.
Yeah,
So we were already automatically gonna move on.
Yeah, so I get back up in the air. 2 teams crashed out, so I'm cruising some laps. I'm trying to catch up to the other guy because, ideally I get ahead. And then he ends up crashing out.
Yeah, so we're last ones up.
Yeah, so I just start cruising laps, and a lot of stress just sort of fell off my shoulders.
Nice.
And I was doing a couple flips and stuff.
Nice.
I don't know if people hate it or like that. I know my team was like, stop that.
It feels more natural to be kind of doing some acrobatics.
I don't know. It was a great way for me to relieve that stress.
Yeah.
So I fly out the rest of that battery, and we were having quad issues because of the gate I clipped.
Yeah.
We later found out I bent up a bell super gnarly.
Oh, wow.
Really bad. Some Cobra 2208
Somehow it
tanks,
lived.
though.
Yeah.
So I keep flying. I finish that battery. I come in on, lap 8 for a pit
lap 8
to change a battery. And
I'm ready. I got my battery.
And then this is when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
So I land for the 8th lap, and then there's a guy named.
I'm ready to pit. I grab the quad. I'm swapping batteries.
Yeah, there's a guy that's managing the flight line, but he's not the race director.
He's just like the race manager.
He's just managing the flight line, making sure everything's getting done.
Okay.
So he tells us we're done racing, and then the announcer on the loudspeaker says the race is over.
Yeah, they're like, all right, everyone else has crashed. You're good.
And then the lady that's the race director's assistant comes up and asks us, "Oh, what's going on?" And we're like, "Oh, we were told the race is over." And then she goes, "Oh, that's weird." And then she goes and talks to the judging panel or someone, and then comes back and says, "Okay, I think you're good." And then so we're like, "Yeah, we won!" All this stuff, and we go back over. We walk back over to the pilot's lounge area, which is I don't know, a 5-minute walk.
Yeah,
it's not far. It's just we're away from the field now, and then. Luckily, they have sort of like a MC coordinator guy in the pilot's area to get everyone doing their stuff.
Okay.
And then he calls. Yeah, so he gets call. He calls us and he goes, "Hey, the race director needs to see you at the track." And we're really confused, but we sort of understood. We thought, oh, it's because we didn't finish all 12 laps.
Right.
So, but we were told we were done multiple times. So we were sort of confused, and we're like, all right, grab the stuff. We'll go back and finish 4 laps is what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, sort of naive, but that's how every other event we've been to has ran. Everything's sort of really loose. There's no rules. No one really cares. Just, sort of get things done.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, I could disqualify you.
Yeah, so the race director comes over, and he's like, why didn't you finish 12 laps?
And we were like, they told us not to.
Yeah, and at this point was another time where I wish we had talked as a team.
Yeah.
Behavior, because some things happen that shouldn't have.
Emotions arise.
Exactly, emotions rise. We didn't treat the race director too well, which is very unfortunate. But when emotion, yeah, exactly. So the race director asked us, "Why didn't you finish 12 laps?" We explained what happened, and then he goes, "Oh, I didn't. Yeah, well, this is a good part to bring it in anyway." Then he goes, "Did you know you missed a gate? We can disqualify you for that." And in my head, I was like, I didn't miss a single gate. And then I just remembered on one of the overs, I had too much throttle, and I was trying to just hug the top of it real tight and pull it down.
Yeah.
But I had too much vertical momentum, and the gates were like 3 ribs deep. And then they had sort of open boxes in the top.
Yeah.
And I had gone up through the middle of the top of the gate, which should have gave me bonus points because it's way harder.
Yeah. Holy cow.
What ended up happening was, he goes all the way down to the next gate.
And I asked before I hit that.
Yeah, and the Christian Provo, FPV Provo, amazing pilot, great guy, who was just like, hey, you should probably turn back and redo that gate. And this is like already, because these quads are going 80. He's already done the next gate. So Zach turns around, goes over,
and I get the gate.
He gets the gate again, and that should be legit, right?
Yeah.
Like any other race.
I circle back and get the gate because it was questionable.
And the race director says, oh, it doesn't, you didn't turn back immediately. Was his word.
And so we're sitting there having this argument, and I'm like, well, what's immediate? So you guys have us with navigators. And the navigator's job is supposed to, sort of inform us of the track conditions, what's going on, and navigate.
And it was immediately, as quickly you realized you need to go back. As soon as I went
through the top, I was like, hey, do I need to turn back for that gate? There's a slight pause while they were figuring it out, and then he says yes, and I turn around and I hit it. So we explained this to the race director, and this is where things really got heated because it seemed that we don't need to get into that, but it seemed like the race director at that point in time was trying to get rid of us.
Okay.
And we couldn't figure out why.
But it turns out immediately means before you go through the next gate.
Okay.
So, which is rough because some of the gates are close together.
Because what does it matter? He's just losing time if he keeps going and has to loop all the way back around.
Yeah, exactly. So the rule doesn't make sense and all this.
That was
we're
weird.
Freaking out at this point,
because he's like, "Hey, I can disqualify you. I need to go talk to the rest of the judges."
And that wasn't even the tone. The tone was, "You're disqualified, but I'll go talk to the other judges."
Yes.
Yeah. And
so he comes back. We're just sweating bullets.
I was so pissed I wasn't talking. I was just like, no way.
Yeah.
And then it was interesting. So they had sort of paused all the races for this, and Chad Capper and Tony Cake come over. They're like, what's going on?
Tony Cake is the
Immersion
RC owner. As you all probably know, Chad Capper is the flight test.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they come over, and we explain it to them. And they're on competing teams. And they go, what the hell? That's bullcrap.
Yeah.
So we're sort of staged at this point. I think the race director sort of knew that if they disqualified us, it would have blown up in their face because we did the best we could, and we're being told different things.
Yeah.
And
you didn't do anything maliciously.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't like we tried to fuck anything up.
So then the race director,
as we realized we had to turn around.
Yeah. So the race director comes back, and before he talks to us, he stops at the other team, Vince B, and tells them they're going forward, and they start cheering. And in my mind, they're cheering because they were in third place and they got bumped into second. Because we're disqualified. And I'm just like, crap. And I turn and walk away. I start walking away, and then he goes, hey, we talked, and we're going to let you move forward on
technically you're disqualified.
Yeah. He opens the conversation
but
with, technically you're disqualified. Yeah.
Jeez.
And I nearly shat some bricks at that point.
So anyways, I believe move on to the next day.
I was so worked up though. I was pissed all night.
Yeah.
So then, I try to let it go the next day for the next race, and that was really tough. And then our next heat was a pretty tough heat. Or no, was it? I can't remember what our next heat was. That went by so fast.
You were Team SQC.
Oh yeah, SGQ or SQG.
The Dutch team.
SQG Dutch team. And then
Chad? No,
Ross knocked Chad out. That first
Ross
night.
Chad.
I can't remember. There was a decent. Tom Smith.
Oh, Tom Smith.
And then Vince B again.
Yeah, Vince B again.
Yeah, so Vince B, Tom
Team
Smith,
SQC,
and SQG.
Yeah.
Or SQ, whatever.
Yeah.
SQC.
SQG.
And that race, I don't really remember much of that race. I just remember going.
We just did it.
I remember I had missed a couple gates because of video issues with SQG.
I was seeing SQG kept stomping us out.
If you saw Luke's video, he posted.
Yeah, Luke.
It was the
Bannister
same thing for
in
us.
the finals also got stomped out, and his video would switch to Team
by
SQG.
the same team.
Doing something.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. We're not trying to blame them, but
they were stomping
on multiple
people
occasions we
hard.
were watching their video, and other people flying were watching their video as well across the fans. So that was unfortunate. So I had to circle back for gates quite a few times during that race, and I ended up getting second by 30 seconds.
Okay.
Something. And then so this is actually all the next day. Sorry about that. We skipped past that.
Did we?
Did we? I don't know. Yeah. So this is all the same day as finals.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a Saturday.
Now, day 5,
6.
6.
Day 6. So Yeah, so we go through that round, and we're feeling good after that race. You know, we're
Just
sad
a quick,
that
to jump into dark side quads, we were using TBS Unify Pros, and then Immersion. Somehow he talked his way into letting them use Immersion.
Yeah, so actually, let's bring that up. So
which was the Immersions are kind of dirty.
We don't have to say that, but initially, what the rules is everyone's going to be provided a Unify Pro, and everyone's going to run a Unify Pro.
And you have to use a Unify Pro.
Yeah, exactly. So regardless of quality of transmitter or anything, it would be an even playing field for everyone, which is very important.
That's, what's
Who?
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so regardless of anyone, it would be a very even playing field, which is great. And so I think it was on day one, Anthony Cake sort of starts rumors, or someone starts rumors. I don't know exactly who, but it would seem to make sense that it was him, because eventually, you know, they handed out immersion
saying
gear,
that TBS Unifies were blowing
changing
up
channels
and changing channels
shutting
on their
off
own,
randomly, stuff that's actually never been reported ever before,
and wasn't true because they weren't.
The only thing that was true was a couple people didn't read the document that came with it, and they tried to power the Unify with more than 5 volts and blew it up. But you know, that's a user error. That's not an equipment.
So somehow immersion pushed its way into letting it be TBS and immersion.
Yeah. And the few video issues we saw, like Ross Kirker got stomped out as well, which was partially an antenna placement issue, because they had to carry these carbon fiber boxes and his antenna was behind it. So whenever he flew at himself, he would get very, very poor signal strength.
Like zero.
But at the same time, and he ended up watching Chad's video, which we know Chad runs immersion. So, you know, there's an argument that it could have just been a gain issue. You know, there wasn't enough signal strength. But at the same time, why can you watch immersion video across the whole entire race band spectrum? You know, when someone's on channel 1 and someone's on channel 7, you should never see their video, regardless.
A major problem with it was these 200-gram cameras we were carrying had this carbon fiber box. Which covered up half of our antenna. So it blocked a whole bunch of signal. The pilot's pit, where the pilots are flying from, is like 10 feet from the track. And we all know you never want to be sitting right next to the track.
You want the 5-to-1 ratio. So
you want to be way back.
Every 5 meters deep of the track, you're 1 meter off the track.
So it was partially organization problems, partially equipment problems, and we were carrying these Faraday boxes.
Kevin in the chat asks, so some guys were running Immersion RC and some were running TBS, or everybody was running Immersion RC?
It was a mix.
It was a mix of both.
Rules that we were all sent was everyone was supposed to run Unifies, which was provided. So there was no reason for you not to.
Got it.
But because of rumors and weaseling or whatever happened, somehow immersion worked their way into being allowed the last day. And it's very sad, because there's also a lot of trash talk on Clearview and a couple other products for no reason at all.
What happened with the Clearview, I'd personally like to clear that up, because we're actually sitting like a few hundred yards from the Clearview office. There are a bunch of guys. What happened was they bought a whole bunch of Clearviews to use as the base station for Dubai.
1 second. So just for those of you that don't know what a Clearview is, it's a video receiver that has some proprietary software and hardware that does better job of interpolating like multipathing and stuff like that. And so it does a really, really, really great job of making clearer video signal with the same technology or similar technology.
The big downside, though, I think, was there is a little bit of, it's not super user friendly, and you have to know to, like, for one, do PAL and NTSC switching. And at an international race, you know, people are going to mix up camera types. And so that was one issue, is the people organizing it didn't know they had to switch.
And what they had done was they took 2 Clearview boxes and used an Oracle, which is it diversifies based on image quality.
Video quality.
So the Clearview is built to just work on its own. No one's really ever experimented with putting it in an Oracle and seeing
Yeah, it was
if we can
untested.
figure it out. It was untested. The owner of Iftron Tech, who makes Clearview,
Said to not
said, "Don't do that. That's a terrible idea. It's gonna go bad. You know, it's fucked. Please just use the Clearview by itself."
Yeah.
And they didn't listen. They did all this experimental shit, and it was totally untested, and we didn't get to practice with it or anything,
Yeah,
so they didn't even know if it worked until semis.
Yep.
So it
Very unfortunate.
and of course it didn't work because no one tested it, so everyone's writing off Clearview as sucking. But really, it doesn't suck. It was experimental stuff that they did that just didn't work.
So it was very unfortunate because a lot of trash talk.
Because and then so once again, Immersion starts going around saying Clearview sucks, Clearview sucks, Clearview sucks. Use my Immersion RX.
Yeah.
Which
Immersion
wasn't
RX.
necessarily true because they had fucked with the Clearview stuff. Anyways, so now we get the option of using Clearview or experimental craziness, our own base stations. They're like, hey, okay, now you're allowed to use your own base stations too,
Okay.
which they weren't going to allow.
Okay.
And then, or Immersion provided RXs.
Okay. So
Yeah,
back to we're on finals day. You have finished one race. You're feeling good. You're having some video issues with SQC.
And one of those pit stops on the finals day, second pit stop, he comes in. I go to strap his battery in, and his fucking battery strap snaps in half.
Oh my gosh!
So we have to, as
Zip
a community, have to come out with a better battery strap that doesn't just snap on us. I luckily had a roll of electrical tape, and I just kind of did one of those. And I didn't tell him.
I had no idea. All I said was, "Why is my quad flying funky now?"
And I wasn't going to tell him because he'd be freaking out.
I'm sorry, I missed it. What did you do?
I just taped
electrical tape the battery.
Electrical tape around the entire quad and the battery.
That's a great idea.
Pit stop. I needed to get it, and he had no idea. He didn't even realize the pit stop took like 3 seconds longer than the usual one.
Yeah.
So that was just pure luck. I was sweating bullets the whole time. It was a scorpion strap, by the way, Sean Taylor.
Wouldn't that be Sean Stanford?
Or Sean, whichever one.
Sean.
Whichever Sean is here.
And so, yeah, we got really lucky. I thought it was going down.
Yeah.
And he finished. Turned out great.
Great.
So then we move on to
that's the innovation and craziness and whatever it takes mentality of drone racing that I love. Like it's just like whatever you can do to get it to work, like that's what's gonna work and that's what you're gonna go for. It's just it's so fun.
We've
brand new,
we've
never pit stopped other than F3, but that was different.
Yeah. Well, so I wrote an article for Mini Quad Club right after F3 about why I think kind of like the NAS Quad relay race kind of style I think is going to be towards the better part for professional pilots.
Yeah, so I mean,
from a spectator standpoint too.
There's drama, there's length.
1.5 minute race.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's a lot more money too because you're starting to bring in vendors that are because you're now taking vendors against one another, not just individuals against one another, and so like there's more of a team aspect, more of an organizational aspect. I think that's going to be a big part of the future for professional racing.
Yeah,
I would definitely say longer format racing with pit stops, whether it's a relay race or individual pilots, will definitely be it.
Right.
It's a lot more fun. Definitely a lot more fun.
Yeah.
We're big fans.
Cool. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to take that segue for a second.
What, quarterfinal?
Yeah, so we are now top 8.
Yeah, so we're in the money.
Okay.
You get prize money 1 through 8.
Okay.
We are now in the money. We have a prize.
Yeah.
Of course, he wants it all.
Yeah.
So we go to our next race.
So our next race was sort of stiff. It was me, Luke Bannister, SQG again, SQC, sorry.
SQG.
SQC.
Okay.
Whatever. It was the Dutch team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was Bannister, the Dutch team, and then I don't even remember.
Man, we can never remember the fourth person.
It's because I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know who
Well,
it was.
so A-Dub is now up against the
Why?
champion of the entire weekend, Luke Bannister, the best pilot in the world, probably, maybe right now.
We'll never know.
Best pilot is still debatable because
Never know. Well,
and
at this point in the event, there are multiple people that were knocked out due to video issues.
Yeah.
Steve Zumos went down for video issues.
Yeah.
Ross Kirker got kicked out for video issues.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, it's hard to say best in the world. He's definitely an amazing pilot.
yes,
not
he does
taking
hold the
anything
title.
away from him, but at this point,
Akbots.
was he in our race?
Oh
Yes.
Okay, it was Akbot.
yeah,
So
that was the fourth person.
So at this
Amazing pilot.
point, it's hard to say he's the best just because there's a lot of issues going around. So this race was very important, and we had to perform, and some shit happened.
Once again, he got stomped out of there
by the same team,
by SQG.
the same guy who also stomped Luke.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Like as in our video would swap, and he'd just be watching them fly.
yeah. So
Man.
I don't know. It was maybe
Same thing that happened to
5.
Luke during the finals. Same team.
So it was about
We're not
5
saying
laps
anything.
in or something. My video goes black, and it was every time they flew in front of the flight line. So
Again,
So-
the flight line is too close, and
it could have just been too close.
This problem probably would have been alleviated
But at
if the flight line was
at
back.
the same time, he's like 200 meg.
But
He's like
and
100
no one
megahertz.
else was stomping. It was their team every single time to multiple people.
Yeah.
Once
so
again, not saying anything.
what happened?
Yeah.
Well, let's say flight line super close or not. He was at least 100 megahertz away, so there should have never been an issue.
yeah, right. But
Whatever gear was being used or whatnot, there was some issue there.
Yeah.
So
He ends
it
up
just
crashing.
yeah, it ends up happening probably lap 5 or something. It happened multiple times. I'd lose video.
But it
I flew a couple gates blind, but I ended up hitting a gate with no video,
ended up crashing.
man,
and I was super pissed. You know,
yeah,
I was nowhere near crashing. You know, I was flying really clean,
yeah.
very straight. You know, no close calls, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I hit a gate. You know, so we're given 20 minutes after each race to file a complaint.
Mhm.
But the problem is there was only one race after this race,
Okay.
and Prince was showing up at this point in time.
So yeah, now
So
the
we
Prince
filed
of
our-
Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we file our complaint, but you know, they ignore every complaint at this point because the Prince is only going to be there for the final, and then he leaves immediately after.
Okay.
So there's no time for a re-race. There's no time for anything, which is super unfortunate because they have all the rule sets in place. They even enforced a couple rules, like they kicked Tommy out of the race for using the 800 megahertz control band, which is actually super unfortunate because 800 megahertz control band on the Crossfire is default on the firmware it ships with.
Okay.
So
And
Tommy got kind of
just
screwed.
yeah, and he would won his heat, and Tommy just didn't know that you had to change it, which is also Tommy's fault because it's in the rule set.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're saying at the beginning. It's a young technology. We don't know everything yet. There's so many variables that you have to keep track of, and there's now you're setting a variable of an event organization on top of that, and
on top of it, no one really uses Crossfire, and it's required for this, or not Crossfire, but LRS type system required for this event. And most of us haven't used it before. You know, there's a lot of goofy decisions made.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that we couldn't run the 800 megahertz band made no sense.
It could have been a legality thing.
It was a legality thing. That was the reason. But
It's illegal in Dubai.
But at the same time, also gotten clearances to run higher power 900 megahertz and other bands.
And
so
it was like
there was no reason they
Prince
couldn't
is
have extended
running
that
this
rule.
whole thing. It was we're not allowed to actually fly in Dubai, but we are obviously.
Yeah, so there was a lot of exceptions made for this event, but at the same time, it's like here's some extra goofy rules you have to follow. There is a lot of tech. So that's going back to what we said earlier. Is if you look at this as an event, it was almost a flawless event, other than a few unexpected issues.
Yeah, they
Which you can't control.
obviously learned a lot of, like when we left, Omar, who was one of the sheiks.
He's the head guy.
He's the head guy running the whole thing pretty much. And he was like, hey guys, we know there were a lot of problems. We now have a lot more information. We've learned a lot. Like, we're going to work to make the next ones better. So it's not like just like saying, hey, fuck y'all, we're going to do what we want. They want to try their hardest to make this a legit thing.
Right.
They've learned a lot of things. They made huge leaps and bounds just from like the day one cutting 32 down to 16 to the next day. Like, they changed so many things to make it work smoother. Like, they're trying really hard to, and that's what we're trying to tell people is like, hey, you know, it was the first event. No one's first FPV event goes smoothly.
And this is, I mean, for everything that did go wrong and for all of the complications that we dealt with, I mean, at least from a spectator perspective, watching the live streams, watching the videos, getting to talk to you guys and others, it seemed like it went really well for a first event. I mean, you know, there were problems, but how much better is the next one going to be? Like, I feel like there's so much momentum driving into the next thing that it's just going to continue to get better from here.
And what I've been saying is like, Drone Nationals was the beginning of quad racing, and now this is the beginning of professional quad racing. Like, this is that next level, and they really know that they want to help push that next level.
I totally agree.
Really into the innovation of the tech. They're really into, you know, future sports is what they called it. They want to have like robotic soccer leagues and like quad racing and like, they want to be the center of future sport stuff.
The only unfortunate part I would say is, so it was the event was ran really well. And, you know, we talked with AGP and IDRA, who they were brought on as consultants. And they had told us that they were essentially ignored. So the only tragedy that happened is, yes, I couldn't say the racing was fair due to technical issues, but the biggest tragedy is a lot of the issues we had already been solved, figured out, and they sort of just brushed them off because they've ran other large racing events. Apparently,
they run F1 events.
Races.
Right.
They thought it was going to be the same.
So I mean,
F1 like Formula One, like giant scary race cars.
So we can understand why they would go, hey, you guys are small time, we're going to ignore you. So we understand their perspective, but at the same time, you know, all the issues we faced have already been dealt with before. So
we've been racing cars for 80 years. We've been racing drones for 2.
Not even.
I don't even. Racing
about a year
to have been a year.
So
that's what I would say is the biggest downside is, you know, it could have went well, because I think you were saying I didn't get to go to multi-GP. You went there, and they were racing 8 people in the air and had almost no video issues.
It was so cool.
If we can't race 4 people and we have massive video issues, I wouldn't say it's equipment at this fault. I would say it's a lot of decision issues at this point. Which is very unfortunate, because it could have been that much more of an amazing event.
Let's just put it this way: it's gonna be fantastic.
So I expect next year to go probably almost flawless, because they obviously have the resources to
and the
get it
passion.
done.
You know, they're dedicated. They're not in this to make money. They're in this
Omar
make drone racing a professional, legit thing.
I would definitely encourage everyone who was there or enjoyed it to give a big shout out to Omar, because he told us their goal is to make drone racing professional, so that technology gets pushed forward and eventually makes it into consumer and commercial products to, you know, basically better the world. That's what their vision is. Their vision is not to go and turn a quick dollar on this.
They want to. They want to innovate the whole sport. And they want it to be a legit sport.
Jokingly,
like
Omar even said, "We have money. That's not what we're after." So I think it's very important that we have the whole community understand that at this point, because there was a lot of frustration at the event. We were very frustrated. We took an equal brunt that everyone took. So I think it's very important that as a community, we need to have a little bit more of a level head, be a little bit more accepting to some of these things, and understand, they're learning, we're learning.
Yeah.
And it's not even a year old at this point.
Be professional. Like, and not that people were being unprofessional, but how do you just act like who you want to be, act like who you want the hobby to become, and that's kind of where we'll take it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I've been so impressed with your guys' attitudes towards the whole thing. I mean, you guys had a hard run of it, but I mean, just in being able to talk to you now, and
it was, we both got paid, or they paid for us to go.
Yeah.
I spent $200 total for an entire week in Dubai.
Right.
I can't complain, like that.
Yeah, I think it's a lot tougher for some people. I know, like Ross Kirker, they paid their own way. There's other teams that paid their own way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can see it being very easy to be upset.
Yeah.
I'm still upset. Like
I'm still upset at myself.
Yeah, exactly. We're all upset, but if you're also in the hole for showing up to an event and you sort of got unfairly treated at the event, not of your own doing, I can see the anger. Like
but you're handling it professionally, and you're moving forward, and you're deciding we're gonna make it better the next time, and that's the best thing you could do for everyone, for yourselves, for them.
Quad racing to be a professional, we want to do this professionally.
Yeah.
What can we do and flaming event organizers who fuck up a little isn't gonna help push anything.
No, it's only gonna hurt, because more people will be afraid to try it themselves. Yeah.
So we have the same dreams as them.
Yeah. Cool. So is there anything left from that day that you want to talk about?
No, we pretty much just went to sleep and then woke up at 5 a.m. and got on the plane and traveled for 32 hours straight.
And then we came home and crashed quads.
And
we weren't allowed to crash.
Yeah, and then we went out the next day and just flew 60 packs.
Nice.
And just crashed them into trees and
laughed the whole time.
Yeah, and just flew.
Nice.
Just for fun.
Great.
What was it like to be sitting there watching Luke, do that final race though? I mean,
it was amazing, man. He killed it.
Yeah.
Were you watching with your eyes, through goggles, on a screen? Were you just?
I watched a little bit of screen and
it all in.
Everything, but it was, Luke he's on top of the world right now.
Yeah.
Luke's
oh man.
great.
And he's a great guy too. He's a total goober.
Yeah.
He's super funny.
He fits right.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the way people look at him or anything like that. It's not like he's self-conscious in that sense. He's a funny kid, who's just having a blast.
He's doing his hobby. He's chasing his dream.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying he's having fun with his hobby, and he's chasing his dream, and he's hanging out with really cool guys from around the world. How can you not have fun with that?
I mean, that's another part of sort of what we at Big Whoop are all about is, you have to be serious. Yeah, you have to.
There's a logo right here. I couldn't find an actual one, but there's one right there.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what we're about. You have to be serious. You have to practice. You have to be good. You have to do all that. But if you can't, at the end of the day, enjoy the people you're with and have a good time doing it, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, totally.
So we really enjoy when people do that with us. Luke didn't have an eye infection. He had an eye aneurysm, or he just popped a blood vessel.
Yeah, he just popped a blood vessel. He didn't change anything. It just, he looked like he came from hell.
Yeah. Hey, Luke. I mean,
he was having fun with it too.
Yeah.
He kept
sticking it in everything, everyone's cameras,
sending little selfies,
and I mean, I said he sold his soul to the devil. That's how he went.
Nice. Cool. Well, I think you guys have a big day. You need to get some sleep and get all rested up for stuff tomorrow. Man. So I'm gonna start wrapping it up here. If you had one takeaway from your experience in Dubai, one thing each that you wanted to communicate to the people that didn't make it, what would that be? In terms of the experience.
It was incredible, and just don't think that it was a big fuck up. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people online being like, it was stupid, it was yada yada. I don't think it was. I think it was, it's just baby steps. It's still a learning process. It's just the beginning of real professional drone racing.
Yeah, totally. Zach?
You got anything?
Sort of the same thing, but
He's still bitter.
It is growing. And it's very clear that it is going somewhere, and negativity will only slow it down. I really would like to encourage everyone, organizers especially, to start working together more. Figure out a way to set aside differences, because we're sitting here and we try to attend every major event, and there are conflicting events, and that's I wouldn't want to say unfair to us, but it is, because we try to promote it, and we have to fight to pick which event to go to, because the organizers are fighting over events, and then some organizers do some things better, others do other things better. That only hinders the whole community. So if we could somehow figure out a way for everyone to unify and solve some of these issues together, we'd be much better off.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well,
from the stream, any questions real quick?
Yeah. You guys have any ending questions that you want to ask? Do you have any? I guess we could go anywhere with this. We'll give it say 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we're just sitting in a Starbucks.
We'll do a lightning round of questions.
Oh, the mention Kim. I want to comment on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Min-Chan Kim was from South Korea.
Yeah, he's I think he's 14. He's from South Korea. I didn't get to talk to him much. I got to meet him.
Yeah.
But I would say, so freestyles, I didn't get to read freestyles rule set, but some people are putting him down for having flown line of sight and saying it was unfair because 2 of the judges are helicopter pilots.
Yeah.
But I want to say, point freestyles it's for pleasing the crowd. So if you can do something to please the crowd while you're there, whether it's FPV or line of sight, and you did a much better job than other people, you deserve to win.
Okay.
That also being said, he was by far the best pilot there for freestyle.
Okay.
And along with all that, if we really want to start distinguishing it, then we probably should have 2 freestyle categories of line of sight and FPV.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So saying it was unfair or whatever, that's not true. He flew within the rules. He's an amazing pilot. During freestyle qualification, I was sitting there watching him do things, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
so,
he's just watching line of sight. Like, I mean, I've watched a few 3D heli pilots and stuff like that. It's just like so mind-bendingly like.
Yeah, well, I mean,
does physics work that way? Like.
Exactly. He was flying pirouettes and doing loops while pirouetting through gates, line of sight.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly. Crazy. So you're sitting there and you're going, okay, how does he lose? Right?
Yeah.
There's in my mind, he won by a long shot.
Right.
So there's definitely no mistake there.
Yeah. No, that's great. Cruel wants to have your babies. They want to know what you're doing tomorrow, but it sounded like you couldn't really talk about it, so we'll have to announce that later.
There is a big race going on that's not public, and we are going to be in LA.
Okay. Someone earlier was asking where the team name Big Whoop came from.
So I can tell this story. I'm not the best to tell it, but so I only recently joined the team. But so Big Whoop came before nationals. They were all sitting around trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And Jordan will finish it.
What's up?
They want to know Big Whoop.
Yeah.
Big Whoop.
Origin story.
Yeah. So origin story. Yeah. So it originally started with Jesse Perkins, Chris Fisher, and I. We met at we have a Monday meetup here in Fort Collins where, there's like 150 members now, but every Monday we go and just like fly quads in a huge swarm at the middle school.
Nice.
And Chris found out Drone Nationals was happening. It was like, hey guys, let's go.
Chris, the creator of Black Bolt 220. Yeah.
And so we were like, oh shit, yeah, this sounds like fun. Why not? We we registered. We started designing the XBR because we were like, hey, we need the fastest quad possible. And we were learning that there's all these sponsored people going. You know, there's Team Lumineer and there's Team Immersion and there's Team this and Team that. And we were like, shit, man, there's all these big deal, big whoop guys going, and no one knows who we are.
Yeah.
We're pretty big whoops too, right?
Yeah.
So it pretty much was just a joke. You know, it started as, hey, we want to be big whoops too. And so then we just started calling ourselves Team Big Whoop.
Right.
And from there, from a joke, it still is a joke. You know, we still I love going up to Chad Nowak and being like, hey, man, you're pretty big whoop.
On everyone's back, hopefully they don't see it.
And so, yeah, it's just, it was a joke, and we try and keep it fun as much as possible because of that.
We use Luke as our weapon, so we'd have Luke go sticker people that would know that we were stickering them, because that's sort of our thing now. So we had other people stickering people for us so they wouldn't suspect anything.
Nice.
So yeah, we try and just keep fun in it, and we're one of the only like major independent teams.
Yeah.
Most other teams are made up of a company goes, hey, I want you and I want you, and a bunch of these people who are on teams have never met each other. They don't fly together. They don't know each other.
Yeah.
We're really
a team.
Big Whoop. You know, we're friends first,
right?
And then we're a team dedicated to keep doing what we're doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beard envy.
Beard envy. I have loved watching Team Big Whoop since Drone Nationals. I mean, out of everyone, like, you guys have the strongest branding. You have the best cohesion. You have great quirks that you're great at publicizing. Say that again. I'm sorry. Oh
no, go ahead. I was just talking.
No, and so I love everything that you and Jesse and now Zach put out, and it's fantastic to kind of if I had one like professional team that I would just follow and be an absolute fan of right now, absolutely Team Big Whoop. It's so good, and so what you're saying about being friends first absolutely shows, and it's just fun to watch you guys.
Yeah, another cool thing we started is any race we go to, we try to do something called Drone House.
Yeah.
So what we do is we rent out a big Airbnb.
Like a 12-bedroom Airbnb kind of thing.
Or, yeah, exactly. So some big mansion near the facility.
Mm-hmm.
We don't pick people.
Mm-hmm.
It's all first come, first serve, and it fills up usually within like 2 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, the one for Kentucky's already filled up. I think we have 16 people.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, so
dang it.
We would like to figure out a way to work more people into it and figure out how that goes. So,
and then we all just split it.
Yeah, we're open to ideas on that. We split it. It's usually the same price or cheaper than a hotel.
Yeah, this one's going to be, what, $200 for 3 nights or something?
Or 4 nights, I think.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, and it's usually it's almost more fun than the event happens.
Yeah,
I bet.
We're all geeking out about the same stuff. Everyone brings micros. We race around. You know, it's just
some people do heroin in front of Peterson. No one did heroin.
That's anyways.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really fun, and I mean, we hope that maybe more people will start doing it, and you know, it's the people are what make the event.
Yeah.
Because that's what's fun.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Too much sausage. Why are you thinking about sausage, Sean?
He's thinking about a lot of dudes sleeping together in the same house.
Oh yeah.
He likes it.
You know, it's a big whoop.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up here. Do you guys have any last words that you want to say?
Well, just thank you everyone for joining us. You know, it's always fun to be able to talk about what we love to do.
Yeah.
And to spread the joy. So hopefully there will be more of this in the future.
Yeah. Zach?
Sean Taylor, I'm coming for you.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. This has become the trash talking live stream. No, but yeah, so thank you everybody for coming out. This has been a blast. We've not done an interview style live stream like this. I think it was a big success. I've really enjoyed talking to you guys. I hope you guys experienced the same. We had a little bit of a snafu at the beginning with the time zone issue.
I mean, once we have internet or a house, it's a little easier.
Yeah. We're not doing live streams from Starbucks, but it's kind of fun actually. Like I like watching people walk past in the background, like.
How's the music? Do you guys hear it? You like it?
A little bit once in a while. And then, but yeah, so I'm actually going to download this entire stream, cut it into audio, and I'm going to re-upload that to like SoundCloud or something like that. So if you guys have anybody that you want to share with it that does like podcasting or something, I'll have that handy for them. And if you guys have any other pilots that you'd like to talk to on the stream, let me know. Or if you are a pilot and would like to be on the stream, let me know. And we'll do something. I think that Jordan and Zach and I are going to do some more stuff, particularly around World Drone Prix, because there's a lot more stuff that we want to talk about, get into some more of the technical details and stuff like that. So look forward to some stuff there. But Zach, Jordan, this has been an awesome time. I've had a blast talking to you. I think everybody else did too, and I hope that you feel the same way.
Well, thanks a lot, man.
Oh,
it's a pleasure.
Oh,
our note. Get Maddie stunts on. Let's talk about trick theory.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's a good one.
that's a good idea.
Definitely. Matty Stunts, we believe, is,
God. Wait.
he's one of the only dudes out there really pushing the envelope in terms of freestyle, we think. And it's next level shit. It's amazing. It's mind blowing. We don't understand any of it. He's a magician.
Okay.
Yeah, he's explained how he does and approaches stuff to us in private circles, but I think it'd be cool for him to sort of go out and talk about it. So he comes from stunting on street bikes, so he's sort of been doing this kind of similar stuff. So it'd be really cool to, I think, have him on.
I love that idea.
Yeah, he's a really good one.
Cool. All right. If you guys want to just stay on for a second, and I'll cancel the stream here. But yeah, so thank you everybody for coming out. It's been an absolute blast. We'll see you next week at Thursday, where we're going to do some stuff with Multi-Road Romania. But yeah, so everybody have a good night. Thank you so much. It's been a blast. See ya.